If you pay me. Oh, we'll pay you.
And, you'll do this all by yourself?
That's right.
We pay you when the job is done. Is that okay?
That's the way you want to do it? So who do you want dead?
Well, it's like this. There's his family. Lives down the creek a ways.
Well, we seem to be getting closer. Try this next one.
Mr. Kellogg, I'm glad you decided to meet with me.
So, you're with the Institute. I wanted to see for myself if you really existed.
We do, as you can see.
What do you want?
It's come to my attention that you've been rather disruptive of our operations lately. This must stop.
I do what people pay me to do. If that's a problem for you, I could see only one way out.
And what's that, Mr. Kellogg?
If I'm working for you, there's no more problem. From what I hear, you can afford me.
I don't think you fully understand the situation.
I think I do.
Very well. B-748, initiate. Impressive. We may have something to talk about after all.
Getting warmer. One of these has got to tell us something. We're running out of grain here. There's one that looks mostly intact. Connecting now.
Initiated. Stasis. Suspended.
Even then, I knew it was a mistake. Alive. And a revenge. No one better. But I was enough to assume I could handle some soft, pre-war vault dweller, even if she somehow got thawed out. At least I know those Institute bastards will soon get what's coming to them, too. If she could take me out, they won't be able to hide from her for long.
I found another intact memory. Whenever you're ready. Son, this appears to be a very recent memory. So, good news, I think.
Piper's really done it this time. I mean, I'm not saying she's right, but Mayor, he's gonna be there this time. I probably shouldn't have
Kellogg.
It's okay. You're gonna get your head blown off just barging in here like that.
Minimizing my exposure to civilians is a priority.
Forget I said anything. So what's the big crisis this time?
For you, one of our scientists has left the Institute.
Left? As
Name's Dr. Brian Virgil. We know he's hiding somewhere in the sea. Here's his file.
Wow. Some heads are gonna roll for this. Capture and return, or just elimination?
Elimination. He was working on a highly classified program.
No kidding. One of the top bioscience boys? Damn. So, I guess you're taking the kid back with you.
Affirmative. Your only mission is to locate and eliminate Virgil.
You're taking me home to my father?
Yes. Stand next to me and hold still.
Okay.
X-88 to relay with Sean.
Bye, Mr. Kellogg. I hope I see you again soon.
Teleportation. Now it all makes sense. Nobody's found the entrance to the Institute because there is no entrance. Let me pull you out of there as soon as you're ready.
Blue, where are your pants?
Slow movements, okay? I don't know what kind of side effects the procedure might have had. No one's ever done this before. How do you feel?
I'm okay, Doctor. Thank you.
That's good, but I want you to keep monitoring yourself. We have to be sure there's no long-term damage. Are you ready to talk about what happened in there?
There's more than one person who knows about the Institute. Virgil, that scientist who escaped.
I didn't know Institute scientists could defect. This changes everything. He could answer all sorts of questions. Where did the memory say he was? The glowing sea? That can't be right. No one would risk going there, not even to hide.
That's why he's there. To make the Institute think twice about following him.
That must be it. He's using the radiation in the glowing sea like a shield or a cloak, a way to throw them off and be at an advantage. If Virgil found a way to survive there, you'll have to do the same. If you're going to follow him.
Oh, I'm going in naked. Fingers crossed I get superpowers.
I know you're joking, but as a doctor, I feel obligated to remind you that unprotected radioactive exposure will only kill you. Dead. D-E-A-D. So be sure you find a way to get through there with your life intact. And good luck. By the way, I unplugged Mr. Valentine first. Removed the implant while you were waking up. He's waiting for you upstairs.
We've been traveling for a spell. I was hoping to have some words with you.
Now's a good time.
I'm used to flying solo, but I gotta admit, working with you makes me think I've been missing out. Having someone watching your is refreshing. Especially since you never know when the Institute is watching.
It's always good to have backup.
Exactly. Some people at HQ are jealous. You took the big nap and everyone you knew is gone. Now, hear me out on the silver line. If a human in the railroad slips up, then they expose friends and loved ones to danger. You're safe from that.
Well, I guess I'm a little lucky then.
What's done is done, and the upshot is you're in a position where you can act openly. If you go to ground, there's little the coursers can do about it. It doesn't matter much to me. I'm a synth. At least that's what they tell me. So I really don't have anything to lose. For Glory and me and the others, it's easier to dedicate ourselves to the cause.
That's interesting.
That's one word for it. Since we're traveling together, I take this. It's my recall code. If you ever need to know something about the Institute, read it to me.
I appreciate the trust.
Yeah, well, about that. Don't use the code unless you absolutely have to. It'll wipe my memories. I'm not sure how much of me'll even be left. You know, I'd just feel better if you didn't read it until you need it. We've been making the rounds, doing the job. It's time you learn the big secret. Everyone thinks that Desdemona is the big boss. She calls the ops, gives the rah-rah speeches, but it's just an act. She does what I tell her to because the railroad, it's my show. It's been that way since I founded it.
You really founded it?
Sure. Me and Johnny D and Watts. Hell, that was 60, 70 years ago. After a while, you lose count. We've come a long way since the beginning. We've done a lot of good. Saved a lot of synths. But we're about more than that. We are the last and only line of defense between the Institute and the Commonwealth. Hell, maybe even...
Any perks being close to the big boss?
Now that I don't have to hide, sure. We'll set you up. But the best perk is seeing behind the curtain. They're all about synths, but there's more going on. We are building a better, brighter Commonwealth. The Railroad really is the best, noblest organization that's ever lived. I can't keep up with this bullshit.
Sometimes I think you're crazy.
Sometimes I think you're right, but there's a point to this, a lesson, if you will. There's other organizations out there, and in time, I'm sure they're going to spoon-feed you their own patented bullshit. Ignore the verbiage they're doing, what they're asking you to do, what sort of world they'd have you build, and how they're going to pay for it.
So what do you think of the other groups out there?
Love the job you're doing with the Minutemen. Historically, they've been little better than policemen, though. The Brotherhood. Well, I met them on an op in Capital Wasteland a few years back. But Maxon, let's just say, not a fan. And the Institute? Well, do I really need to answer that? But what I think doesn't matter. The real question is, what do you think? And at the end of the day, you'll need a choice. Make it the right one.
Hell yeah.
I used to collect comics like that when I was a kid.
What will that wacky barbarian do next?
Not a lot of folks would travel with a ghoul, even one with my kind of charisma.
I ever tell you about the time I was in Capital Wasteland? Now there's a tip.
World's always gonna have tyrants.
Way.
Maybe constantly trying to kill us, but often good neighbor.
It's a heck of a town, eh?
I've had this mug for too long. Might be time for a new face.
There's no sport to spilling blood if the person ain't earned it. Lucky for us.
Now, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my time. But a flying ship?